Hi, welcome back to Jumpstart Code, and in this video we are going to start understanding how to use Flexbox to control the layout on your HTML page. There are a number of techniques that you can use to do this. Layout can be one of the most frustrating things, especially for beginners. So we're going to go really slow and understand how Flexbox can really be useful in doing this. So I have a very simple example here. Just 3 paragraphs of text. If you look at the code over here, this is all I have, is just these 3 paragraphs of text. And if we refresh this page, that's all we see. All right, now let's say that what I want to see is something that looks like this. It always helps to sort of sketch out what you want your layout to look like. So I want some sort of a headline, and then I want these 3 paragraphs to be in 3 columns. We're going to use Flex to do this. And in order to do that, the items that I want to control with my Flex layout need a parent container. So we're going to add a div element. A div is just a way to create a box. And I'm going to create a div element here that contains my 3 paragraphs. So as you can see here, I have added a div element with an ID of main, and the 3 paragraphs are nested inside of it. I'm going to go to my CSS file, style1, and I'm going to reference that div element, which if it's an ID, we use the hashtag main, and I'm going to say display flex. And with just that, if I save all and look at my page, then we will see that I now have 3 columns. Right? So those 3 paragraphs they're the children of that main div, and they are all now flexed. Now you can see that right now, Flexbox is trying to keep them all sort of the same size in this direction. And that's why, because there's a different amount of content, the width is varying. But if I want to control the width, the easiest way to do that is I need to add boxes or divs, put each one of these paragraphs into a div. So I am going to add boxes inside of here. So as you see here, I have now added a div for each one of these paragraphs, and I've given them all the same class so that I can control them all the same way in my CSS. And I'm going to go to my CSS and target that class of box and specify a width of 30%. If I use percent, then that will allow this page to be responsive. So as I grow or shrink this, you'll see that the columns are all the same width. Now, because it's 30%, and 3 times 30 is 90, so there's some extra. You'll see there's extra space over here on the right. So if I want to control how these child boxes are aligned inside of the parent, then if I want to control my, I'm going to say for horizontal alignment, I am going to do justify content center. Right? One little change, save all, and you'll see now I have space around each side. So instead of it being over one side or the other, right? If I wanted to control the vertical centering, the vertical alignment, I would do align items center. So I'll save And look, and you see now they are all centered within that box. And to make it even clearer what's going on, it's sometimes useful to put a border. 1 pixel, we'll say dotted black, so that you can see the parent box that you are dealing with, right? So now we are centered vertically and horizontally. Now, usually we really don't want to do this, so I'm not going to do this alignment. All right. And again, if I were to change this percentage here, if I make it 25%, for example, then you'll see I've got extra space. Now, if I want that space more evenly distributed inside, then I can do justify. I'm going to get rid of the other one. Justify content, space between. Right, so let's not do this one. So you see here I've got spaces between each of the columns, but not on the side. If I want space on the side as well, then I can use space around. And now that extra space is sort of evenly divided all the way around. So this is the first easiest implementation of Flexbox that we have here. And even if there was additional content inside of these paragraphs, let's say that each one of these paragraphs has an H3, which is some sort of a heading, okay? Then, and that content is all sitting in this box. So this is going to be heading 2. So this is the power of using divs to contain things. Then I save, and you see, so now we still have these nice columns, and we can put whatever additional content. If I wanted to put an image in here as well, so you can contain whatever you want inside of that box. Now, yeah, so let's just leave this for this video, and we will talk about some other things in terms of if you want to not have these all the same width, we'll learn some other properties that we can use to control that in Flex. But the very simplest Flex that you need to know is just have a parent container, make it display Flex, and then your child containers, you can control the width of them if you want to, and you can control your horizontal alignment using justify content on your parent, and your vertical alignment using align items.